very good evening to our viewers. Thank you for joining us tonight on the evening review. My name is Toivon Jabela. Tonight on the platform, we are joined by Utaara Mootu. She's a member of parliament for the Landless People's Movement. Last week, she was in Omaheke Region where some land issues emerged, and she'll explain those in a moment. Thank you, Honorable, for making time.
Thank you very much for having me, Toivo.
Yeah,
how
wonderful.
are you today?
No, we are soldiering on.
Great stuff.
Yeah, yeah. So a group of farmers from Gobabis invaded, if you like, a government farm in it's called Witsand.
Witsand, yes.
Yeah. And your party really played a very active role in sort of engaging those guys, helping them where you could. If you can give us a bit of background to that issue.
Well, Toivo, these are generational farm workers and farm dwellers. Others having acquired some of their livestock privately through means of, buying a goat here and there and accumulating within the livestock numbers. Others predominantly are generational dwellers who have been working for white farmers for quite a while, and due to obviously a change of leadership or tensions between the working contracts, some of them were released, and now they have been left on the street. So they come from Gobabis. So they moved and relocated with some of their land, their stocks, livestock in their backyard, some of them, trying to get to lease here and there with a friend or two. However, they inquired a lot of economic expense. It was expensive in terms of, for example, those who would have those lease agreements, they were firstly not economical to their standards. Secondly, when their livestock would die, they were not being informed. So there was a great grievances with this issue. It started in 2015. They have been writing letters to be resettled. The journey went on, and then recently, around August the 20th, then they received an eviction notice from the Gobabis municipality, of course, in line with the Public and Public Health Act of 2015, subsection H, that talks about, having animals in close proximity to urban lands and the health effects that it has. It was under this government project in which it is named Kanan Sieva, Kanan A. Those are the targeted locations in which then they had made these orders to vacate their livestock, but not the individuals. And then they proceeded to say that, look, on the 30th of January, if you do not vacate your livestock, then you will get a fine of 500 a day. I mean, these are generational dwellers. These are farm workers who do not have the means to be charged 500 per day. They came to the Landless People's Movement, but before that, they were being assisted by a SWAPO counselor. So it's not just an issue that they just came to us directly, or we are trying to get it for political advantage. They have gone through various channels, even to the extent of going to speak and write a letter to request an audience with the now President of the Republic of Namibia, then the Vice President under that office. And the Vice President did state that he noted, and it will be sent to the relevant ministry. The Minister, Kalish Latvan himself, is aware of it. But however, after continuous engagement, they had demonstrations, they decided, look, let's go to the Landless People's Movement. And indeed, the Landless People's Movement helped them. They came to us, they said, look, we have this eviction notice. This is some of us sustain our families, take our children to school by selling some of these livestock, by maintaining these livestock. Can you assist us? We did. We wrote letters. We had statements in Parliament that were written. We even had a demonstration on the 1st of February where we went to the office of the Governor, Pio Kanate, requesting that he really looks into this matter under his resettlement committee. They did note that they were looking into this issue. Particularly, they said they would look into this issue at the second conference within the land division. Nothing has been done. So this is a continuous battle for an audience, an outcry from the people. So the way the government is trying to make it look like, these people woke up one day and decided to grab land is completely false. They have been landless, they are tired, and that is what had happened.
Yeah. Last week got ugly a little bit. People got arrested. People had to pay bail of $800 each. I spoke to Mr. Pinar, who is one of the affected farmers there. You were on the ground. What did you see in terms of the conditions of these people? In terms of really, because I'm just having this picture in my mind about, I mean, where if you have 20 goats and somebody says, get out of here, where do you even go?
Where do you go?
Yeah.
I mean, given the fact that these farm dwellers have been living on farm that was owned by white settlers who then got it through colonial means, they have no trace of any form of land that they can get, commercial land, communal land, for example, that they can really go set up. They don't have the means. So where do they go? That's where the frustration and the fundamental question that we must ask. Again, when I went there, they had referred the case from Gobabis to Witsand. That's when they went and appeared in court and they were given the fine. However, there was a great relief and a great bravery amongst the farmers, because generally tribal people are tired. They are tired of being exploited by this system and this government that does not look at the land issue as a land crisis. They were rejoicing for what they have done is a first step within the government actually looking into their plea. So many of them obviously were treated like common criminals, which is not the fact. They just want to give a decent life for their family, and that they have been doing ever since 2015. And the way they were treated, I mean, Trevor, you have information that we have received for people on our ground that there are some farms that were even illegally taken by officials and government elites that are linked to the governor, and they have not been arrested. These individuals have been arrested and then they have been charged with trespassing. Now again, Kalish Lightman was asked the question. He was asked in Parliament by Honorable Bernardo Swartwe, what should be done? What measures were you going to take? Because this is just not the farm dwellers. This is another issue of the resettlement program where people are getting 100 hectares, for example, in Plus Du Plessis, where people are cramped, 35 people in 3,000 hectares of land. They are facing their livestock dying. So it's a dire issue that many of them have brought to the table. They are the way they are being treated like common criminals within their country. In fact, the Constitution itself in Article 16 and 23 says that everyone has the right to own property. That includes land. Again, the government breaches that by treating these people as common criminals and treating them in such a way where they are ashamed. Some of them are pensioners. They had to be pushed in vans, they had to be violated, their rights were violated in the fact that they went to go and accommodate themselves to a land that has been idle. I mean, also we ask the question is, why does government use government taxpayers' funds to buy farms and then they do not resettle the individuals? This farm that they acquired, the farm was sitting idle for about 4 years, 4 years. Now we're saying that this land was for the means of to repatriate some of our people from Botswana. But that program, we even asked the minister, when are you going to ensure that that program is ongoing and that the people come? So now should the people inside that live within the country, should they just be crossing and watching and looking at large hectares of land that is not being used? It's in dilapidated states. It's not being maintained for the sake of government to sometimes give this land to officials?
Yeah, I hear you. So in your various engagements with government so far, I know that Joyce Mudengwa, your colleague, the head of your human rights department in LPM, has written several letters to some of these regional leaders and Kalish Lightman, as a matter of fact.
Yes.
What are you proposing? Because the situation is there that, people do not have where to go. Government says it takes time and all these kind of things. They've been sent from pillar to post. What are you proposing as a party?
I mean, it takes time, Toivo. Some people have been applying for this land, some of these individuals, since 1997. Some of them even older than I am, the applications. It cannot be the same song. What we are saying is we are demanding an audience. since 2015, we have been demanding an audience for these people to come, and that the minister and various officials within this industry that facilitate the land resettlement issues should come and engage with these farmers to see and look at amicable solutions, either extend some of this notice that they were given, or give a temporary place where they can have their livestock be transferred to, and then see how we can negotiate with the government. Again, the government ignoring the people is just going to frustrate them even more, and more people are going to be grabbing land because of that frustration. We are saying that, secondly, facilitate financial backup particularly for our small-scale farmers, to ensure that they accumulate below in terms of facilities, infrastructure, to ensure that we as small-scale Black farmers are able to participate in the commercial markets. So it's not just they, them. There will be a case that will open other a ripple effect to other cases that is within the Omaheke region. It's not just this group of people. They were just brave enough to grab land. But there are ongoing talks. As we speak now, the resettlement committee had various engagement within the regions. For example, in ASAP, in Oshombinde, where they have spoken to some of the farmers and potential resettlers, and people across the scale have been showing great negativity towards them. They have objected and opposed, especially to this requirement that is within the criteria of the resettlement, that looks at us from that bases people according to tiers and based on your economic input. For some of them, you even have to provide an annual income of about 500,000. I mean, come on, Toivo, with this economy, this market, with the drought, how will I be able to sustain to ensure that I have an annual income of about 500,000? As a Black middle class or lower income family that just gains about $2,000 per month, how am I going to do that? So these are the issues that really these people want to talk about. In fact, how do I qualify for a farm if this is a resettlement issue? It's to ensure that we give land back to our people, but they are treating it as if it's a commercial practice, rather than to resettle the people who have been generationally stripped of this land rights. That's why I'm saying they're treating these farmers like they are criminals, but they are not. They are just concerned groups who want to get economic freedom. So again, that's what we're saying. Engage the farmers. Open the discussion of land. You cannot have a land conference and not have some of the criterias that you have spoken about in this land conference not be materialized. Thirdly, you cannot have farmers be sidelined. There's an issue again of farmers that are having issues with NAMRA. Again, our population, the low and middle income households are being targeted.
We'll go for a break, but I think just to munch on a topic, the next question to you will be around when I spoke to Mr. Pinar last week, he also mentioned the alleged corrupt practices in distributing land, saying that it's connected people, some of them not from the region. Serious issues, maybe you have picked up some of that, but we'll talk about it when we return from the break. The conversation continues on the evening review with Utaara Hoveka. Now, Utaara, the question is the process of land redistribution above board in Omaheke, according to your observation?
Well, there's the issues of lack of transparency. There is a critical issue within the delay within the resettlement issue. Firstly, we have got land that has been acquired by government, that has been bought by government, and that has been redistributed firstly to people who are not in line with per se the applicants, for example, who have applied first. They are not the ones who have been given those land rights.
So they're jumping the queue.
They are jumping the queue based on who has the most deepest pockets. Secondly, those who are linked to government ranks. So the higher your and stronger your relationship is, the faster it will get for you to acquire this land. Thirdly, the cramping and the lack of capacity of certain farms. What they're doing now, government is buying land that is, firstly, does not have fertile land. And in terms of capacity, the people are cramped. They're not able to then expand their livestock to ensure that they grow wealth as the Black community. That is not being done. And then fourthly, the corrupt practices. You find one day you are told, no, we are looking at your issue. We are going to resettle you into this farm. Tomorrow you find other people who are not within Omaheke coming to resettle there. Of course, the Constitution does state that we are allowed within the dimensions of Namibia's borders to resettle anywhere where we wish. But priority should be given where it's due, given the fact that these are farmers and that is all that they know. For example, business people, some people who have no links with farming, for example, get farming land, and you just look at it and then they are using it for recreational purposes, to party with their friends and have braais, while you can really use that land and to use it in such a way that it can economize and directly contribute to the economy of our agricultural sector. And then again, another issue that we continuously as the Landless People's Movement complain about in every debate on the appropriation bill is the limited and the lack of priority to the agricultural sector. Agricultural sector gets the most, it gets one of the least within the budget allocation. So how do you expect a ministry to then buy more land or service more land or facilitate and equip those farming lands and provide training and specific services for those farmers who accommodate those land to ensure that they are productive if they are getting such a small budget?
It's true. Do you think that, not turning to LPM now, the party, the Orange Party,
the Revolutionary Party,
the Revolutionary Party, how are the preparations going for November as a party? I know that you are not maybe the spokesperson, but while I have you here, I'll ask you that.
I knew you were going to do that. While I prepared.
Yeah, sure.
No, we are doing very well. We have started with our outreach. We have started setting up our policy divisions that will look into crafting a people-centered, a realistic manifesto. We have started with and finalizing for land allocations that we have done, reports from councillors on what is the update for the past 4 years and what we done within the regions that we have governed. So those reports have been written, they are being typed, and that is what we're going to use as to engage. We're not going to make promises that are going to be out of our reach, but we are going to speak on a basis of this is what we have done, give us more years and we can do more. This is where we can improve, and a more realistic conversation is what we are trying to do with the masses. We are excited. We have seen positive reviews. Just 2 days ago, we have already gotten about 240 members alone, just in a day. I think it was about 4 hours in Vanaheda. A diverse group of people. It's not a Nama party as such. People have been allocated, have been saying in the newspapers and so forth. It is a vibrant party that is diverse, and that is our target groups. We are seeing more young people. We are preparing young leaders, more young leaders to join regional structures. We will have our convention within the month of April, or around April, May, where we'll select our PAC. Our PAC are the Political Action Committee that will be dealing with the various departments and that will take certain issues such as land right issues under Joyce Mudengwa's Human Rights Department on board, other critical issues on health, social issues, to really ensure that we are not just a party that speaks, we are a party that works. This case also being one of our possible successful cases due to the fact that we have started extending negotiations with stakeholders will show that LPMers, we just don't speak, but we actually on the ground helping our people to ensure that they get their land rights, to ensure that they get economic emancipation within various sectors. But our center will always be young people. We're going to ensure that young people will be on the list. Currently now, through the electoral processes within our party, we are ensuring that young people at least get a significant number, if not 60% of the parliamentary list, and the rest will be determined to the Namibian nation. Yeah.
Do you think that the party has acquitted itself well in the Karas and Hardap region, where you are essentially the ruling party, you are the dominant party in that in those two regions? Do you think that your track record so far has proven that it can be expanded now to the national platform?
As a party that has received a local authority that is indebted, greatly indebted, a party that has seen piles and piles of projects that have been left by the SWAPO administration, we believe that we have done the best that we could to ensure that our people do not suffer severely. For example, those water cuts that were done in Keetmans, we ensured that we tried to look at payment schemes that will ensure that the debts that were done by the SWAPO government, SWAPO party within those local authorities was targeted. We continuously continue to develop land and provide land for our people, housing schemes. However, it has not been an easy challenge due to the fact that SWAPO continuously fights us. However, even within those fights, we have come out victorious. As a party that has won various elections, we have kept and dealt with candidates and councillors that are not willing to work, councillors that are not willing to adhere to their promises to the people. We have dealt with them decisively. Some of them got recalled, where you saw that there was a sequel of elections within the last year due to that recall. The recalling shows that we are a party that is willing to be accountable and willing to ensure that the people's interest comes first. Of course, the Karas issue in terms of the Karasburg issue, where it is unfortunate, we are fighting it in court, where our councillors have been, the council has been dissolved by the minister. We are currently in talks with the minister, and he has come forth to the core. We're having meetings to see how we can really resolve this issue, and also we'll have legal backup for our councillors to ensure that they are reinstated. For example, Toivo, for your information, before the councillors were recalled, we had about plus minus 430 plots that we were supposed to give to our people. And when the minister came and dissolved that, that disenabled the councillors to actually deliver those plots. This is what the SWAPO government is doing. This is the politics that is dirty that they are playing. But again, LPM has continuously said, even within the challenges, we do come out victorious. We are willing to take the punches. We are willing to come to our communities and say, what solution do you see fit for yourself? Who are the councillors that are not working? Who are the councillors who have done a good job? Where can we fix ourselves as a party? We are open to that scrutiny. We have always been open to that scrutiny. And that is why we believe that we are the alternative party, because we are able to be raw, we are able to be transparent, and we are able to move forward with the nation, providing strong leaders that have a vision for the country.
Yeah. Last one, 30 seconds. There's, and please don't tell me that this question is above your pay grade. There's been reports also in the papers about your party leaders, the leader and the deputy leader, not on good speaking terms, divisions ahead of elections. What can you assure the rank and file of LPM as far as unity is concerned in the party ahead of that election?
Well, in any organization that has different individuals with different backgrounds, different thinking, we have gone through internal mechanisms, internal practices to see how we can unite the party and dismantle all the lies that has been going around the media. I will assure the nation that we have dealt with the issue accordingly, democratically, and I will show the nation that we are a unified front. We are willing to set our differences aside for the greater good of the nation. The two leaders have reconciled. Previously, the two leaders have had various instances where they had meetings, where they spoke, and they saw a greater future for the country when they worked together, and that has been done. And we are willing to move forward as a party. Remember, in my previous statement, I said we are raw and open, and we are also very open when things are not going well for ourselves. We do not hide it, but we are also very open with the accountability process that we have had to ensure that the leaders, in fact, we have released specific letters indicating what has been transpiring within the disciplinary actions that we have been taking. We have set up investigation committees that have brought reports, and from there moving forward with the advice and guidance of our elders and our constitution, unity and peace has restored to the party.
Wonderful. Utaara, thank you. Honorable, for coming to the...
Thank you very much.
For coming to the party. So thank you very much. We'll engage again soon.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. That is Utaara Mootu. She is a member of parliament for the Landless People's Movement, sharing with us some perspectives on just those topics that we spoke about. Thank you for watching.